So we're coming into our last chapter of today. So I hope everybody has loads of energy and has enjoyed that little bit of move around the room and enjoyed the tea outside. So I am going to now introduce you to our second last speaker of the day, which is Julia Augenstein. Julia is happily married mother of 2 boys and is a full-time lawyer and HR management economist. Besides that, she's a systematic coach and freelance career consultant on the topic of talent and appointment, and she's the co-founder and senior partner of Elterngarten, a successful project in Germany which encourages mothers and fathers to use their parental leave as a phase of reorientation and reflection. Julia is a trained trainer, an avid mindfulness coach with years of experience in meditation and yoga, and has 16 years experience in human consulting, sales and leadership, and supporting people during sensitive periods of change, such as the process of defining their career, wishes, and implementing them successfully. She's here today to speak to us about how life is a walk in the park. I give you Julia Augenstein.
Just full of water after the dance. So, everybody's hearing me? Yeah, okay, thanks. Today, I have one question for you. Just consider it. Is your life a walk in a park? Just think it over. And I think we will answer this question at the end of my speech. This is a picture of Elterngarten. And I want to tell you a bit of this. What is this? Everybody knows kindergarten, as I said in the video. But Elterngarten, nobody knows. Internationally, in Germany, lots of people know at this time. And we turn from dancing into something darker because I have a picture in my mind. And I was sitting on the couch about 12 and a half years ago, and inside and outside of me there was a lot of darkness. I had this screaming little bundle in my arms, my little baby, and I was feeling weak. I was feeling down and depressed, and there was this dark cloud pulling me inside deeper and deeper. No mentionable network in town. My husband on a new job till at night, as a lawyer, used to do this. And me sitting on the couch. First of my friends becoming a mother, and there was no network I had. And I was feeling I failed. I've already failed. Breastfeeding didn't work at all. And wasn't getting better. And nobody really knew what happened to me. I was feeling isolated. It had this taste of solitude. And it was quite different to what the book said before. And as a typical German woman, well-educated, I read about 10 to 50 books about this. And I thought, theoretically, I had to be well prepared for being a mother, but it wasn't. And it wouldn't get it better. It was between the years, and at January, the baby courses started, and I thought, okay, it will be better. But there was these happy mothers and the smell of baby bonding and happiness and a brand new world. I had no access to this world. There was no space for my tears and for my fears at this time. And I read in my books about this kind of mood swings, and I read about the postpartum depression. And I was not really sure if my mood swings, they swayed from having panic attacks to not getting out of bed. But nobody could really help me. And then a friend gave me a phone number, And I called the clinic because I didn't know what to do. And I told the doctor on the phone my situation. And he wasn't very compassionate. He was obviously in a hurry, a very young doctor, I guess. And he just asked me one question. He asked me, do you want to jump out of the window? Really, it happened like this. And I was just like, no, I have issues, but I don't want to jump out of the window. And then he said, well, then I can't help you. If you feel like it, come back to me. And he hung up. I don't remember the name. I would call another time, but well, it's just like that. And nobody wanted to help me because I didn't want to jump out of the window. And no, it's a bit funny, but it wasn't at that time. I thought life is not a walk in the park at that time. Because, okay, there were some people that tried to help me. My mom, my mother-in-law, my husband, but still I was feeling isolated. And I needed a vision. I needed a new structure. I needed somebody to support me. But there was no format to do this. And as you know, parental leave can be a bit difficult. And there's a lot of change. So if Elterngarten had existed, I could have get another vision. Everybody knows kindergarten here in this room, I guess. And what is kindergarten? Kindergarten is a space where you can grow as a garden, where plants are growing. And this is as well for Elterngarten. This is an original picture of us. We're not always on the floor, but sometimes we have, because you bring your babies with and your siblings. And in this setting, you find a network of like-minded people. Not only women. Fortunately, there are always some dads as well. And there you can build a new vision for your life with family. And that's new, because usually when you want to go to coach or having consulting, you aren't allowed to bring your baby. And we want to find an orientation. And as you know, that changes a lot. We want to refine strengths and abilities for moms and dads. And that's a big opportunity. So, again, on the floor. Becoming parents. When you become parents, a lot changes. The essential and the inessential, they become a bit clearer. And but there's also a lot of change of values. Who knows that? Who's having a baby or had a baby and values changed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thanks. And you're confronted with your beliefs and with your fears, but nobody wants to talk it over. And these all affects your priorities in your daily life, your relationship, your job, your career. We talked about this. We really struggle as moms and dads. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you got some support? If there was somebody who helped you and you could talk over your ideas and probably to find a new vision, how to manage it, and probably to find a new roadmap, or even to find how you can do a reconversation with your boss, because you don't know if you want to get in or not, or if you want to have a part-time job or self-employment. And these are all things we do at Elterngarten. We have base camps, and now over 15 cities in Germany. And so we are having these base camps about 90 minutes and 5 weeks, 1 time per week. And you can explore yourself. We have a coach, a well-educated coach there, and you can figure out, for example, and work on the self-model you. You can have some parts in private, individually, or in team. And it's a kind of workshop, but it's a group coaching you have there. And it's a very good opportunity to look on the effects on your daily life. And you can look at your goals and on your aims. I thought we considered that before. It's really important that you know what you want to do in your life and how you want to become parents. As entrepreneurs, we are told that without aim or without goal, don't move forward. As parents, we could use this as well. And there's this author, Plutarch, a Greek author, and he says, what we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. I like this, because at this situation, I had these thoughts, and these thoughts, they were inside my mind. And these thoughts, they changed my reality. It was dark at that time, but it could have been better. And how do thoughts become reality? We had this great example of the vision board. It's one example. But I think it's really important that you think over your thoughts. And you think over your aims. And that you consider them. And what is it? What is an aim? An aim is a defined, aimed at, usually changed situation that lies in the future and that is desirable. And that's just the point. You have to consider what is desirable for you. In Japanese, aim or goal translates to whatever I get up for in the morning. Just everybody close your eyes, just a brief moment, and then think about it. What are you getting up for in the morning? Probably you want to change it or think it over. It's all about thoughts and how you can manage them, because you only have impact on your thoughts. Again, what drives you in life? Well, when you're a mother or a father, it becomes clearer because, again, there's the essential and the inessential. It becomes obvious, or more obvious, because you are constantly, at the beginning, living in the chaos. And probably you also have the feeling of failing. And you have to think over what is your system of beliefs. Because there are lots of parents who tell you, no, you have to do it in another way. You have to go working for 40 days per hour, and there are others who say, no, that's the wrong thing, above all in Germany. It's still like that. There are lots of mums not working or part-time working. But it's your own concept. You have to find your own concept. That's really essential. And often we are caught in our beliefs. And we don't know how to find out and get out of them. So how do we find the connection to our dreams? Well, sometimes there are these dream barriers. And we have to come through. And for this, you need support. You need somebody who has got a toolbox and to show you how to manage it. Again, there is this guilt. We've heard about this. I learned that everything about bad conscience as a working mom. And when do we get a bad conscience? When reality and aspiration do not match. You're torn between dream and aspiration. Everybody of us knows this. And again, there are other parents and they impose their ideas on you. But the only question I think that matters about guilt and a bad conscience is, are your children at peace with themselves? because if they are, you don't need to. And use the social network, use your relatives, and just let go. It's so easily said, but I think the best way to not have a bad conscience is to let go. And I love to talk about failure. I think as an entrepreneur, it's a gift that there is failure. Because we are told to have self-esteem or self-confidence. We are told to have implementation strength and courage to fail. And in this world of perfection, we struggle hard to talk about failure. But I think you have to embrace failure because it's the only thing that leads us to success. We've heard the stories today. And here's your comfort zone, and there's where the magic happens. And between there is failure, very often. Safety is the enemy of success. And again, failure separates the essential from the inessential. Because otherwise you don't know who you are and what remains when fear is realized. That's yourself, the essence of you. And we've got a role model at home. Ourselves and our children. Because a toddler needs about 14,000 steps a day. And he falls down about 100 times with ease. And that's a good role model for failure for us. We should do that as well. That's Tanya. She had the idea of elterngarten. Unfortunately, she can't be here today because of her baby. She also failed. First, she was having the idea, it didn't really work out, it was only in Munich, then it spread over Germany into 15 towns. But we often fail. I fail as a mother every day when I don't listen properly to my kids. I fail as a housewife because the cleaning baskets are still on the first floor since January with changing content, okay, but they're still there. And we had setbacks with elterngarten, but it's still a success. It's still a success because the women and men who attended, they said they learned to fly again, and they learned how to manage the world again with their children, and they had a new vision. So it's all about connection, I think, and support that we need. And as I said, I think the only thing we have an impact on are our thoughts. And they have an impact on our feelings, and this is our reality. It leads to our reality. And I remember the scene when I was sitting with my second child. It was a bit more like spring, it wasn't that dark, and it felt like here in Portugal a bit more. And I remember how the coach turned and asked me the right questions, and how I slowly went in another direction. And I was like, oh, probably it's a park out there, and my life is a park. It's a bit cloudy, but it could be. And I think that it's all about. And that led to self-confidence, the failure. I failed, many people fail, we all fail. But this is what leads to self-confidence. It's all about activity. Olivia said, just if you have something on mind, just go for it. And I think that's it. It's about activity and about growth curves. You've mentioned it as well, the growth curves. That's why we're here. And the question is, what is it about? What is life about? Life is about love what you do and do what you love with your children. But you have to have a vision for this. And I think it's our birthright to be happy. And as Hugo said, nothing is as powerful as an idea whose time has come. And this time has come for elterngarten. So you can find the best version of yourself and the best version of your family. And we have this great opportunity to have the cooperation with Martinhal here, and we can offer elterngarten here in this place. So just please tell your friends, tell your relatives. If they are on parental leave, just go here and find this beautiful setting where you can figure out how is your vision to have your family and how is probably your career going on. And I think that life is a walk in the park. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia. So a couple of insights that I took from Julia's speech this afternoon was, I loved when you spoke about the dream barriers and how, unfortunately, they are there, but we all need some support, whether it's from our colleagues or our friends or our family, in order to, push through those barriers. Another thing that I loved that you mentioned was about failure, because I think naturally we all think of failure as a negative word. And a friend of mine went to the States to make his millions a few years ago, and he came home. But when he was over there, he brought back this idea, and he's still developing it in Ireland, about bringing this conference from the States home to Ireland, and it's called FailCon. So it's where people would actually pay to go to a conference and learn about failure, and that how it's not a bad thing, because it's about having the courage to fail. So I loved that you spoke about that. And that conference actually celebrates failure. So I always say to people when I'm speaking to them, it's about what you learn from that failure, and to fail fast but learn fast. So if something goes wrong, pivot. That word's been used a lot today, and I guarantee you it's going to appear in Chitra's sum-up speech. But it is. Yeah, it's about pivoting. So if something goes wrong, pivot. Learn from it. Don't be afraid. Move on. But that's what I took from you, so thank you so much for that. I'm going to put some questions to the audience if anybody would like to ask Julia anything. Thank you.
12 years from ago until now, are you living your vision?
As elterngarten?
You?
For me? Yes, I am. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So it works?
Yeah, it definitely works. Try it. It's amazing. Yeah.
So we're all going on sabbaticals after this conference. We're all going to go take a little bit of time off. We're going to reassess. But it's good. It's good to take the time and to realise if things aren't going exactly to plan. Who cares? Pause, reflect, know that it's not wrong, and fix it. And maybe go to one of your workshops and figure out while you've come back off your maternity leave or during your parental leave or your paternity leave. There's so many terms now. Good. Great. Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you.